Hey guys, welcome to episode 18 of Let's Play Dragon Age. We are going to go back to the camp now that we've saved Red Cliff. Is there a quick way to go back to the camp? Let's see. Can we just go to camp? We can! That works. Cool. So I guess from non-combat areas, you can just go right back to the camp. Hey dog. Or Duncan. I should probably call you by your name. Alright, so... how's our inventory doing? Pretty full. So I'm going to start... This is kind of going to be like a downtime episode, so if you're not really into that, want to get back to the action, feel free to skip it. Otherwise, I'm going to do maybe some herbalism, some selling things, chatting with companions, giving them lots of gifts, that kind of stuff. Alright.
If
How you
there's
doing, Bodan?
anything I can do for you, please tell me.
Let me see your wares.
I'm sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected, and with
Your discount. Yep. Alright. The cool thing too is that that's a nice staff, especially if you're into like nature damage. I don't know how many whoops, game minimized for no reason. It's been doing that a lot lately. But yeah, I'm not sure how many nature spells there actually are in the game. We should probably go through and upgrade all our companions first. Alright. Darkspawn staff we decided is not better. I did it again. What is this? Alright. So we just have these two from the DLC, which we're going to save. No more amulets or anything. We could use some more of those, actually. Same old robes. So nothing really good for Aravale. Sten, I think, is already probably pretty good. How about these? Are these better? These are a little bit better. These are worse. He doesn't really use a shield, so we're not going to worry about that. Is this great sword better? It has a lot less armor penetration, so probably not. He can use Blightblood, which is one of those other bonus swords, which we're not going to worry about. As for his bow, I'd rather give him a long bow, but he can't use it because he needs more dexterity. We'll have to keep that in mind then. For now, though, let's give him some more ice arrows. Alright, Sten. I'd like to give most of my party members ranged options so that if I'm using like big AoE spells, they're not necessarily going to get stuck in it. I guess he's pretty set. Leliana. How's she doing on arrows? She still has quite a few. Should we give her a better bow? This one's the same. So she can use a long bow. I'm not sure if she's suited for it though. I'm gonna give it to her anyway. Because I know there's some stats differences between the two, like which stats they use to influence their damage and hit chance and all. And I think there's also some bugs, but they were patched, or at least changed in the patch. But I don't know if because I have the Ultimate Edition, is the patch automatically installed? I would assume so. But I don't know that for a fact. Alright, we don't have any more daggers, so I'm going to stick with that. Alistair, I think we already decided this is the best sword. Yep, better than that one. The green blade, it is a slightly bit better. But it doesn't get the armor pen, the increased healing effects, and the electricity. For a tank, I think that one's actually going to be better, so we're going to stick with that. As for his ranged option, we can give him a longbow. We're out of arrows, though. Sorry, Alistair. He probably won't be using a ranged weapon very often anyway, because these are our main tank. So that's not a huge deal. Morrigan. How about that Darkspawn staff? Her own staff is actually pretty good. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with that, actually. This does the 5% spirit damage, but that has a little bit more regular damage and the one extra magic. Yeah, we'll stick with Morrigan's staff then. Or magic staff steel, as it's called. Armor, her robes are still the best. And we don't have any more amulets. And good old Duncan. Let's see, we have a black leather collar. So this is more of a attack collar than a defense one. Duncan actually might be another like alternative tank to Alistair, but for now I'm gonna give him that one. We can either give him cold resistance or electricity resistance. I'm not sure which is more likely for the enemy to use against us. I'll go with cold. I don't really remember what the spirits in this game use. Alright, that should be pretty good for gearing up. Let's sell the
If there's
rest.
anything I can do for you, I'm sure.
Alright, we're ready to sell this axe, greatsword. I don't want to sell the green blade or the warden's longsword just because they're unique. I guess I can sell this one because we're not going to use it again. We can sell these short bows because we'll get more of those. And I guess we can sell the darkspawn staff even though it is also rare. It's just not good enough to use. I don't want to hold into every single unique item in this game because that would fill up a lot of my inventory. I should probably invest in a backpack if I still can. I want to keep my chastened robes though. I'll get rid of this because we can probably find better ones. Large flawed lightning crystal. Is that what is that? Oh, I know what that is. Alright. I was thinking it was for enchanting, but it's actually for something else. We'll get to that in good time though. Novice runes we probably don't need. And a lot of these gifts we're going to go ahead and get rid of. Malachite, is that actually... let's see here. Malachite. Don't know if that's a gift or not. I guess that is not actually a gift. No. Remarkable Malachite is. Malachite is just a random stone. I'm also going to see if the blank vellum is useful for anything, because I don't think it is. Nope. Can be safely sold to vendors for gold. So that's what we're going to do. You'll have to forgive me if I'm minimizing a lot during this. I know the sound stops when I do. But, actually, I can probably change that, can't I? Audio... No, I can't. Nope. A lot of games will let you do that, but not this one. Alright, so now what we're going to do is go around and give gifts to everybody. But I have a chart for that. I just have to minimize to see it. And we will use that chart to determine what goes to what. Actually, I think I have a pretty good idea already. So let's go ahead and use the ones I know. Because I did look through this. Actually, I can sell a lot of these ingredients too. I didn't think of that. Alright. So these are plot items. Do they take away inventory space? I really hope not. They probably don't. Where do they store gifts? Here are the gifts. Alright. So, Alistair's mother's amulet. That definitely goes to Alistair, obviously. I think you have to figure out how to actually give it to him. There's the give thing. But I can't really select him while my party inventory is open. I can't move the window, unfortunately, so I can't actually see him. Alright, give me a second. I know it said how to do it. It seems very unintuitive, though. Open your inventory, select the character. Well, you can't, because the inventory is over top of the character. I guess I have to move my character so I can't. Alright, let's try that. It's going to require some careful positioning, I guess. Oops. Alright. See, when it's in your... Oh, wait a minute, maybe you do it through this way? There you go.
This is my mother's amulet. It has to be. But why isn't it broken? Where did you find it?
So yeah, that's really unintuitive. That you could have done a better job with that, BioWare. Also, the wiki has very confusing directions because it never says the character on the character screen. It just says the character. Um, I found it in Redcliffe Castle in the study.
Oh, the Owl study? Then he must have found the amulet after I threw it at the wall. And he repaired it and kept it. I don't understand. Why would he do that?
Maybe he meant to give it back to you.
Maybe he did. He might even have brought it with him one of those times he came to see me at the monastery. Not that I would have given him a chance, as belligerent as I was to him. Thank you. I mean it. I thought I'd lost this to my own stupidity. I'll need to talk to him about this if he recovers from his... When he recovers, that is.
There you go.
I wish I'd had this a long time ago. Did you remember me mentioning it? Wow. Huh. I'm more used to people not really listening when I go on about things.
uh, I'm gonna say you're a friend. Of course, I remembered it. Although really, it just has Alistair's name on it, so it's kind of obvious.
I don't know what to say. I'm honored. Thanks again.
All right. And because he now has 25 approval rating, it's got to say that somewhere, doesn't it? He gets an extra Constitution bonus. Um, I don't know. Maybe it doesn't say it. Under the inventory. Oh, here we go. This thing. Yep, there we go. Plus 25. And every 25 you get with a companion, they get a little bonus to their stats. That's kind of cool. All right, what other gifts do we have here? Lambone. 3 guesses who that goes to. I guess I don't need to be standing next to them. I can just... There we go. All right. I guess he enjoyed that. They don't all have conversations, just a few of the special ones. Now, these two... Okay, Bronze, Silver of Andraste. These two go to companions we don't have yet. Bronze Symbol of Andraste goes to Liliana. Which, again, I don't need to be standing next to. For a lot of these, you can give them to anybody, but they have one companion they're really meant for. And they'll get a lot of extra stuff from there. The ones that have a plot item, you can't give to somebody accidentally. Andraste's Grace as well, I think is best for her. Let's do that one first.
Flowers? For me? They smell lovely, and there's something so familiar about them. These were my mother's flowers. She would sprinkle the dry petals amongst her clothes.
Oh,
they smell just like her. Thank you so much.
lots of approval. Plus 17. Jeez. Alright. And we'll give her... Where was it? The Bronze Symbol of Andraste.
That's a wonderful thought.
Okay, so that's not a
I
plot
don't know
item.
what to say.
That's just one of the ones that you can give to anybody, but it gets a lot more points if you give it to the right person. And there is a guide for that on the wiki if you just look up like Dragon Age gifts. It'll come up. I think the card statuette, I think Alistair likes statues. So let's give that to him.
I could get used to this, you know.
There we go. The Golden Scythe. Was that like whiskey or something? Spirits, yeah. Contact with exposed flesh is discouraged, but likely inevitable. So we don't have the companion for that yet. Rope, necklace. I think most of these... Actually, the tribal necklace might go to Morrigan. She's kind of tribal.
A fine gift. You have my thanks.
Maybe. Alright, and let me take another look at the chart and see who the rest go to. First, let me make sure. Actually, a lot of these. Huh, okay, the tribal necklace didn't actually go to Morgan, it just goes to anybody. It's one of the basic ones. Most of the rings and things are. They're just generic. But, that being said, Morgan does like some jewelry. specifically a demon pendant, a gold amulet, a golden rope necklace, a locket, a silver brooch, a silver chain, or a silver medallion. So she likes lots of jewelry. So this is kind of confusing then to separate what she does like from what she doesn't. But okay. Let's see. So the silver bracelet is a general one. The small silver ring is a general one. The golden rope necklace, she might like that one though. She does.
I am
There we
grateful.
go.
'Tis thoughtful indeed.
Shiny gold ring, she doesn't really care about. Steel bracers is generic. Alright, so she's mainly into necklaces and lockets and pendants and that sort of thing. The rest are just kind of generic, which means I guess you can give them to anybody. So, I don't know, Sten I think doesn't like us that much, right? Yeah, he has +7. Who has the least? Leonard and Alistair both love us. Morgan still doesn't like us that much. Duncan has a 100% approval rating already. That's a dog for you. So I guess there's not a huge amount of point giving him gifts, but that explains why his affection didn't go up. Alright, I'm going to give a couple of these to Sten then. Let's give him a bracelet.
Unexpected. Thank you.
I guess he likes to give him the bracers, 'cause that kind of makes sense.
Unexpected. Thank you.
And as you give him more, it kind of goes down. So you can only get so much from the generic gifts. And let's give Morgan the rings.
Interesting. Interesting.
See, it's descending. And the rest we can save for better companions. Alright, so that was kind of cool. Got her cunning up as well, which is useful.
You and your friends are formidable folk, indeed.
Just hit escape to fast forward through all that stuff, because it's not really worth hearing it every single time. Okay, okay, I could enchant with these, but I'm just going to sell them, because I'm not really going to bother. My staff can't be enchanted, at least not yet. Alright. So these are good for making bombs, it looks like. Things that resist certain types of magic. Which could be useful since we're going to the Mage's Tower next. I'm not going to make traps, I don't need that. 20 metal shards. But at the same time, I don't know, like, I don't really want to bother making all these bombs, but they actually could be helpful against certain spells. We'll see what I can make. Does he have any recipes? Now this is good. What is this? Oh, I like these. I totally forgot they existed. Tome of Arcane Knowledge gives you an extra point to spend on a talent or spell. Now that I could definitely use. I'm not going to spend all my gold in it though, but it'll be here later on. He has lots of runes too, which is cool, which makes sense because and he has another necklace. So you could use this on Morgan again to get her more stuff. And these gifts are all the Life Day gifts, which is why they're free. And these are just other gifts you can get that are also added with the Life Day thing. I'm going to get a backpack now. Uncrushable Pigeon. Because there you go. 80 slots. Where are his recipes? Does he honestly not have any recipes? 'Cause I could really use some. That's what I'm looking for right now. I want to be able to make these health poultices so I don't have to keep buying them. Actually, right now I don't think I've bought any yet. I've just been finding them, but still. Alright. Okay, so I can make it. No, I need improved herbalism, so I need to level up a little bit more before I can make these anyway. I need distillation agents, which I could probably buy from him, right?
Are you sure I can't interest you? I'm sure.
Alright. That's expensive, the acetic. Okay, distillation agents. That's expensive too. So I guess that's kind of a way to encourage you to... Wow, so it's 24 for health poultice. And 18 for distillation agent? That's, how much is it for the flask? So herbalism doesn't really save you that much money in the long run. Maybe at the higher tiers it does. But like, you have to spend $19.50, whereas you could just buy one for $24.75. I mean, I guess it is still a discount. Alright, I guess I'll buy some distillation agents then. I don't know, 5, would that be enough? Can I even make bombs and all? I guess I can't. Um, so I can make Mabari Crunch, I can make double baked Mabari Crunch. I have plenty of elf fruit and deep mushroom, but I might take dog with me next time, we'll see. But I really do need the improved herbalism. Until then I can only make the basic stuff. I could use more lyrium dust too. Does he sell that?
You and your friends are formidable folk, and
Thank you, Bodine, or whatever your name is. Bodan? I'm gonna call him Bodine. I think that's how you pronounced it, was Bodine. Now the lyrium, that's significantly more expensive. That's 75 silver a piece. Whereas if I just buy the dust, does he sell the dust? Or do no? I guess he doesn't. I guess you have to get that yourself. Alright, that's fine. We'll figure that out as we go along in our adventures, though. Okay, so I guess that's, well, I don't know. We can talk to some of our companions, I guess. Since we still have some time in this episode. It's good to check up on them and see how they're all doing, because, they have a lot of dialogue.
What do you wish of me?
I'd like to ask you something.
If you must.
I don't know if I asked this one or not. Did you grow up in the Kakari Wilds?
Why do you ask me such questions? I do not probe you for pointless information, do I?
You can probe me anytime. I'm curious, what's wrong with that?
Any number of cats could inform you of the answer to that question, but have it your way. What is it you asked if I grew up in the wilds? A curious question. Where else would you picture me? For many years it was simply Flemeth and I. The wilds and its creatures were more real to me than Flemeth's tales of the world of man. In time I grew curious. I left the wilds to explore what lay beyond, never for long. Brief forays into a civilized wilderness.
But you kept going back.
Would you not do the same? Your world is an unforgiving and cold place. The wilds I hail from is home to me, and I a natural denizen. For all that I had been taught, however, the truth of the civilized lands proved to be overwhelming. I was unfamiliar with so much. So confident and bold was I, yet there was much that Flemeth could never have prepared me for.
It's kind of interesting, the idea of the witches of the wilds who spend their entire lives growing up alone in the wilderness. But it must be really cool being able to shapeshift, though, and, you know, hang out with the animals. That gives it a new layer, too. I can just imagine.
I rather doubt that. Only once was I accused of being a witch of the wilds, and that by a chastened who happened to be traveling with a merchant caravan. He pointed and gasped and began shouting in his strange language, and most assumed he was casting some curse upon me. I acted the terrified girl, and naturally, he was arrested.
What happened to the poor man?
Who cares? As I recall, he was executed. The point being that
wow.
I was able to move through human lands fairly easily. Whatever humans think a witch of the wild looks like, 'tis not I. Not that I did not have trouble. There are things about human society which have always puzzled me, such as the touching. Why all the touching for a simple greeting?
I don't know how she doesn't look like Witch of the Wilds. Like, the messy hair, the feathers on her shoulder, all the jewelry and all. I'm pretty sure she looks like Witch of the Wilds. What I would think of, at least. I guess witches, they always think of being, like, older and ugly. But, touching? Like a handshake?
To begin with, yes. What is the point of touching my hand? I find it an offensive intrusion. There were many nuances that Flemeth could never tell me of. When to look into another's eyes. How to eat at a table. How to bargain without offending. None of these things I knew. I still do not understand it all, truth be told, but then I gave up long ago any hope of doing so. When I returned to the wilds last, I swore to Flemeth that I had no intention of leaving again.
Yet here you are.
Yes, here I am. Well, let's get on with it before the ground opens up and swallows us, yes?
Alright. Oh, she disapproves. Wonder what I said to make her disapprove. Oh well. What is Sten up
Yes.
to? What were you doing in the cage?
Sitting,
as you observed.
Very funny.
Thank you.
Just tell me.
I did. Pashera, was there anything else?
I think he cursed at me. Alright, I have a question.
I am hardly surprised.
Why'd you come to Ferelden?
To answer a question.
What was the question?
The Arishok asked what is the Blight. By his curiosity, I am now here.
Don't you have to report back then?
Yes,
So what are you still doing here?
I cannot go home.
Why not?
It doesn't matter now. Can we move on? We keep the Darkspawn waiting.
I want to discuss something you mentioned.
Speak then.
What did you mean about human wisdom?
Perhaps if humans sought wisdom beyond the walls of chantries, they might find it now and then.
And I suppose you think the Quinari have found wisdom?
I know. Wisdom is like breath. You need it, but no other can give you theirs.
Alrighty. How are we supposed to find it then?
It's everywhere. In every moment of eternity there is a chance to find it. You have only to reach for it. There is little point in pursuing this. We should move on. Very well.
I wonder if there's anything else. That's enough for now.
Then I suggest we move on. As you wish.
You can also tell him to leave, which we're not going to do. Hey, we got a lot of approval for that. Not sure why.
Something on your mind? Of course.
Tell me about the Grey Wardens.
Such as they are.
What would happen if we just left?
Just left? You mean just left Ferelden? I don't know. If there's an archdemon, however, we're supposed to be the only ones who can defeat it.
Yep, it's our duty.
And that means the Blight would grow unchecked. Eventually, other Grey Wardens in Orlais and other lands would hear about it, and they would come to fight it, but they wouldn't come in time to save Ferelden. There's no way. I'm not going anywhere.
No more questions.
About the Grey Wardens, anyhow. Fair enough. Something on your mind?
Alright, so we exhausted all of those questions,
Of
but
course.
he has other categories, it seems. How'd you become a Grey Warden?
Same way you did. You drink some blood, you choke on it, and pass out. You haven't forgotten already, have you?
I meant before that.
Let's see, I was in the Chantry before. I trained for many years to become a Templar, in fact. That's where I learned most of my skills.
You don't seem like the religious sort.
You're telling me I was banished to the kitchens to scour the pots more times than I can count. And that's a lot. I can count pretty high. The Grand Cleric didn't want to let me go. Duncan was forced to conscript me, actually, and was she ever furious when he did. I thought she was going to have us both arrested. I was lucky.
See, I guess as part of their treaties and part of their order's history, the Grey Wardens are allowed to conscript anybody. I'm pretty sure absolutely anybody, even a king, to the order, if they feel they're worthy of being a Grey Warden, and nobody can stop them. Of course, that's the agreement. I think if they actually did try to recruit a king or somebody with a lot of power, they probably wouldn't honor it. But in theory, that's how it's supposed to be. So, and that actually, that ability comes in useful in some of the different origin stories, I believe. If Duncan's the one getting out of trouble. Why did the Grand Cleric want to keep you?
I wondered that myself. It's not as if she valued me highly. I think she just didn't want to give anything to the Grey Wardens is all. The Chantry didn't lose much. And I think I can do more fighting the Blight anyhow, rather than sitting in a temple somewhere. I'll always be thankful
I
to
agree.
Duncan for recruiting me. If it hadn't been for him, you know, I wouldn't have.
He was a good man.
He was. A good man who didn't deserve his fate.
Oh,
That
poor
much I'm
Alistair.
sure of. Come on, let's go. I think I'm done talking.
Alright. Got one approval out of that. How about you, Liliana?
Something I can help with? Yes? What's on your mind?
Why'd you decide to come to Ferelden?
My mother was from Denerim, and I consider myself a Ferelden. Mother served an Orlesian noblewoman who lived here when Orlais ruled. When Olay was defeated, and the common folk began to resent the presence of any Orlesian, the lady returned to Orlais. She took my mother with her. I was born in Orlais, and did not set foot in Ferelden until much later. Mother was always telling me stories of her homeland. I think she missed it.
What happened to your mother?
Mother died when I was very young. Lady Cecily let me stay with her. I had no one else. She was quite old then, and she had me study music and dance to entertain her. It is unfair that I have more memories of Cecily than my mother.
What was Cecily like?
She was an elderly lady, very refined and proper. She had impeccable manners and taste, more so than a lot of Orlesian ladies. Cecily was also kind. My mother was unmarried and with child. It was scandalous, and Cecily had every right to turn my mother out. She didn't. Strangely, the only thing I really remember of Mother was her scent. She kept dried flowers in her closet amongst her clothes. Small white Ferelden wildflowers with a sweet fragrance. Mother called them Andrastis Grace. They were very rare in Orlais. But enough about that. Let us move on.
We already gave her those. Alright, and how you doing, Duncan?
I once heard a really old legend about how the Hound warriors in the days of the old tribes would feed their Mabari the flesh of the vanquished. Well, that's what I heard anyway. It would sometimes be human flesh. Oh, like you can tell the difference. For all you know, maybe you've already been fed something. Someone.
Messing with my dog. Oh, I thought I said I'll never feed you another human being. As if you did. I'll say Dolus Dallas is full of rubbish.
Hey!
Alright. No change for that. Is that everybody? I guess that's everybody. Do we only have the 5? I guess we only have the 5 people, right? Yeah. But there's us too, so. Alright. Well, I guess that's about it for this episode. We made our rounds. I really improved herbalism so I can build some more potions. That would be incredibly useful. So I think I'm probably going to end the episode here then. When we come back, we'll head to the Mage's Tower and hopefully get the Circle of Mages, or Circle of Magi, to come with us and help cure poor Connor of his demon. I'll see you then.